Marvel Spider-Man 2 launched almost 20 days ago, and we still have some functionalities that are missing from the game. I'm talking about things that should have already been in the game since launch, like New Game Plus, the ability to replay your missions, and some weird bugs regarding the symbiote. Yes, I know that they're going to be adding New Game Plus, the ability to replay missions, and fixing some bugs in the next few days with next updates, but what I'm criticizing is that lately games have been launching without being complete, and I can't understand why. New Game Plus and replaying missions is something that we got in Miles Morales. We also had New Game Plus back in the first Marvel Spider-Man, and this is something that should already come when the game launches. You see, you got internet, you can update your games, it's awesome. But if we look from here to the future, this could be a huge problem. I know a lot of people don't care about it, but if you look from past Spider-Man games, if you get all the PS3 games, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Web of Shadows, Edge of Time, The Amazing Spider-Man 1, they were all available for the older platforms and for PC, but nowadays you cannot find these games to buy anymore on online stores. You can only buy the physical copy of those games, which means that the only opportunity you're going to have to play those games is if you get a disc for yourself. Now imagine this, you get the disc to play the game, but the game comes incomplete. They will be releasing updates to implement things in the game like New Game Plus and things like that, but after many years in the future, the game is not going to be available anymore on online stores, the updates are going to be gone, the game itself is going to be gone, DLCs are going to be gone, and the only option you're going to have to play the game is the disc version. Would you be happy if you knew that you would only be able to play Marvel Spider-Man 2 the way it is now, which is pretty much inferior to the latest games when it comes to possibilities? The reason why I'm complaining about this is because they are not even delivering what they already delivered in the past. I don't know if they tried to hurry by launching the game on October 20. I'd much rather they kept the game for another month, let's say release on November, release on December, but gave the complete experience, because now I beat the game and there's simply nothing for me to do. The only available missions that I can do are the Mysteriums and the crimes that pop up on the screen. Back in Marvel Spider-Man, the first game, which launched 5 years ago, I was able to do more than what I can do now in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I could do the Taskmaster challenges, which is pretty much the Mysterium challenges now in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I could do crimes just as I can now, but I also had the bases. Not to mention that I still had the Harry stations. I don't know if I could replay the missions, but I know you could change the weather. I don't know if it was just for that or I could replay as well. But even if I could, I still had the bases to do, so it's more options in a game that launched 5 years ago. In Miles Morales, that came in 2020, I can literally replay any of the main story missions or pretty much any of the secondary missions as well, other than just the bases and everything else. So Marvel Spider-Man 2 launching like that, it really feels like a huge downgrade because it's inferior to the first Marvel Spider-Man. Before we continue, I just want to remind you to leave me a thumbs up to support my work in case you're enjoying this video, and also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to receive more content like this. Not to mention the bugs that I experienced while playing the game for the first time. I had 3 moments that I can remember right now in which the game simply crashed or stopped me from playing. Like for example, when I unlocked Galvanize for Miles, I had to press L1 plus X and I kept pressing and nothing happened. I tried pressing all buttons, nothing worked. I had to restart from last checkpoint to make it work so that I could move on in the game. The game crashed while I was chasing Lizard. It was one of the hypest moments in the game. I was playing a symbiote Spider-Man, I was chasing Lizard, and then out of nowhere the game just crashed and I had to reopen it. And there was another moment where I was doing a crime. I was chasing a car, and then out of nowhere my TV just went all black and then it appeared again as if nothing happened. It was very weird. If you experienced any of these bugs or others, please leave it in the comments. But one of the weirdest things that I have to complain about is that once you complete the entire game, not only do you not have a lot to do, but you also have a problem regarding the symbiote. By the end of the game, you have the Anti-Venom symbiote, which looks white. But you unlock all suits, including the black suit and the symbiote suit. If you try using the black suit or the symbiote suit and you try using your symbiote attacks, they will look white just like with the Anti-Venom suit. That looks very weird, and personally when I picked the black suit or the symbiote suit, I wanted to have it black just as I had during the game. I was hoping to play normally and also get that symbiote surge to have the screams that the black suit does, you know, like God, kill, die. It's so freaking cool to hear that while I'm in the surge mode, and that doesn't really happen with the Anti-Venom because again, the suit is not really angered anymore. It's just Spider-Man using the suit. There is no influence from the Anti-Venom suit. But we did have that with Black Suit and Symbiote Suit. But after I complete the game, every suit will lead back to the Anti-Venom suit. And you can't even excuse this as if it was a specific situation that they couldn't have foreseen, like for example the example I gave in the car chase, a specific car chase in a specific point can bug. No, it's like picking the Black Suit and the Symbiote Suit after you beat the game. It's one of the fans' favorite suits, and it was the main focus of the game was pretty much the Black Suit. Of course everybody would try and play that. Not allowing us to choose between the regular symbiote and the anti-venom symbiote at the end of the game is something that I simply can't understand how they could have missed. Of course everyone would be complaining about it, it's just obvious. Now you might say they're gonna be fixing this, we're gonna have updates, it's also going to get better, we're also gonna have DLCs, and I completely understand everything. But as I was talking earlier, we got that problem of games launching and not being ready, and then we get the disc version of the game, which is the only way we can actually save the game forever and being able to play as long as we have the game and the console. And we're gonna put the disc inside our video games and it's gonna be incomplete. Then you might say, well, but after a while they can relaunch the game with all DLCs, all updates and everything in a Game of the Year edition or something like that, Definitive Edition. And well, if they did that, I would be super happy and I'd be fine. Of course, having those issues when the game launches is a little annoying, but I would be sure that after a while they would fix it, and later in the future they would release a version which I could buy, and that I could be guaranteed to have the game forever without having to worry about losing my data in case I get hacked, in case they remove it from the stores, or in case something bad happens. But if you take a look back at Marvel Spider-Man, you'll see that that doesn't happen. They release a Game of the Year edition of the game, which contains the DLCs, but only as redeemable codes in PlayStation Store. Which means that you only have the original game inside the disc, and you still rely on the digital stores to get the DLCs. In case they remove the DLCs from the stores, or your code expires, or your account gets hacked, or something like that, you're not gonna have access to DLCs anymore. You're only gonna be able to experience the original game because that's what's on the disc. Marvel Spider-Man Remaster, which contains everything, is also not available for buying in a disc version. So again, you also rely on digital stores. So what I'm asking is, either give me a later version of the disc where I can get everything, all the updates, all DLCs included inside the disc. Or if you're not willing to do that, just please give me the full game when you launch it instead of leaving something behind to update later. Because this way, if I want to play in the future and I can no longer access the digital stores, I can at least play the complete original game instead of playing an incomplete game. I also wanted to mention Venom because we know he's playable, right? He's playable in the main story, and I don't know if they plan to leave him playable for the free roam mode in the game. I think they should do that. So the update should also include that in case they intend to add Venom. Of course, that if they plan to launch Venom as a DLC, then they're gonna be leaving for later when the DLC comes. But if they don't see Venom as a possible DLC, they should also add him for us to play free roam. It would be so cool to just run around with Venom in the city and doing missions with him, the secondary ones, the bases. It would be so freaking cool. If you'd like to support my work, please consider joining my membership by clicking on the join button below. It would really help out and I would be super thankful. So, are you also annoyed with the problems that we have in the game and that we're still waiting for an update? Do you also believe that this is a problem because we don't get the full experience on discs in the future? Did you notice any other weird problem that still needs solving? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments and let's be greater together.